Hello, you big, beautiful souls out there. I hope that the holiday season is treating you well so far and that you're all being safe and warm and with loved ones, or at least enjoying the time. I wanted to get with you today, just for a few minutes. Aralamb wants to talk a little bit about the fact that we are quickly zooming into the year 2026, as everyone knows. And Aralamb wanted to talk about a few things coming up in this next year that you may want to think about and be looking out for as well, because as you know, we're all about kind of not being in fear, but just going ahead and moving forward through the ascension and trying not to be in fear, but trying to do the best that you can as a human with a big soul here in your chest, and not live in fear and sort of move through this in a way that has some grace to it and that you feel as though you're not being buffeted by all the energies coming through. So that being said, I'm going to let Aralamb talk about some of the things that he wants to talk about with you today. So that being said, as you know, Aralamb speaking. Welcome everyone to this short event that I wanted to do today. I want to first talk about disclosure, and I'm talking about off-world others, off-world alien species disclosure. So, as some of you may notice in your earthly news at this point, little by little, there's information being sort of leaked out and given to you in tiny little amounts. But in 2026, this coming Earth year, it is very highly likely that between the months of August and October on the planet, that at least three major world leaders are going to stand up in front of a microphone and actually address the issue of off-world others or alien species outside of Earth. Still Aralamb speaking. When I say address the issue, I mean to say that they will stand up, and this includes the president of your United States, if you are in the United States. It's likely that two other world leaders as well are going to stand up at a podium and literally give some information. It's likely not to be a lot of information. It's likely to be the kind of information by where two or three government leaders, including in the United States, stand up and say something along the lines of, this is real. We know that there's intelligent life off this planet. And they're probably going to say something along the lines of, we don't have any details. We don't really know anything other than it exists, just to get it into the zeitgeist. That's likely to happen between September and October of this coming year. Now, you all understand that off-world species have been on planet Earth for a very long time, and that this will not be even close to the amount of information that the world's governments have on off-world species. Still Aralamb speaking. But it's very, very important for you to be looking for this. The next piece of this is that you are sitting now on planet Earth and you are literally and physically halfway through the ascension process. The ascension process is coming to the exact halfway point, the Earth and all of the inhabitants upon it moving through this ascension. There will be another 19 to 26 Earth years of ascension. But when the year 2026, which is just a couple of weeks away, comes into being, everything that you feel that is moving very quickly now. So all of the information, all of the technology, everything that's coming up, all of the knowledge that's coming up from all of the dark and hidden places on the planet, that is going to get faster and faster and faster as the ascension progresses into the second half. I also want to say this to you. The amount of information and the amount of sort of what you may look at as negative information that's going to be coming out in the next year is going to, for some of you, feel very overwhelming. Still Aralamb speaking. I want you to understand. I want you to understand that you need to stay out of that overwhelmed position. What you need to do is bring yourself outside of all of the information that you're getting, and have yourself and your family, if you can, those that you love, stand just outside of that information, meaning don't take it into yourself. Don't take anything as being the actual truth in the universe, because everything is shifting now. Everything that you've known is shifting. Everything that you have counted on is shifting. It doesn't have to be a particularly terrifying time unless you completely take it all in as your own issue. Right? All of the changes, all of the difficulty. Many souls are leaving the planet right now, right? You see that. So, still Aralamb speaking. I just want you to understand that the ascension is about to kick in to a speed that is so much faster than what you have been aware of this far. And most of you who are spiritually beginning to wake up, You know how fast it's been moving. You know how so much information has been coming up and so much has been falling away. But that's about to get even faster. And the ascent into the second half of this ascension for planet Earth and all of you who inhabit it, the ascent is going to get a bit steeper. Again, I am not telling you this to make you fearful. I'm giving you this information so that you can understand that it is imperative for you as a soul to stand just outside of what is happening, meaning, and it sounds biblical, be in the world, not of the world. Do what you need to do. Go to your job if that's what you need to do. Take care of your families, take care of yourself, do the things that make you happy, but don't bring all of the negative energy that has to leave the planet into yourself. The next piece that I want to talk to you in 2026. So this is for this upcoming year. It is likely in the months of June and August of this coming 2026 calendar year for the planet, it's likely that there are going to be some big planetary shifts, meaning the solar flaring will tick up and there may be some very strong volcanic activity, very strong earthquake activity. I don't see this in the timeline right now as being something that happens in any hugely populated areas. If anything, I see a lot of this movement happening in the ocean. But certainly keep your eyes open for all of this because this year, this 2026 year, is going to be that uptick of energy. So it's the uptick of the ascension energy. So everything's going to be in movement. Now, the next piece of this that I want to talk to you about, particularly for 2026 and into 2027, still Aralamb speaking, is the idea that there are two sets of, I will say, entities on planet Earth. One is connected with the creation, the creator, large creator in the universe, or some people would say God with a capital G. And the universe wants humanity on the timeline that it sits on now. And that timeline is the timeline that would have humanity moving past this ascension with the least amount of casualties and the least amount of damage, meaning everyone moves forward. Still Aralamb speaking. There are nefarious actors on the planet who continue to keep trying through quantum physics to pull the timeline to something that benefits them. Every time that happens, the whole of humanity gets shifted into an alternate timeline. The universal creation shifts us right back. So you, Melissa, everyone listening to this, you get shifted right back. Still Aralamb speaking. Because of this shifting and resetting and shifting and resetting that's been happening for the last 14 to 18 Earth months, and will uptick a bit in 2026, I want you to understand that if you feel that energetically in your body, it may make you tired. It could make you feel as though you think that you know something on a Tuesday, which then turns out not to be right on Wednesday. It isn't you. It's not you. Still Aralamb speaking. It is absolutely this timeline shifting. However, at the end of 2026, I see in the timeline, and from what we understand here at the 89th level where I'm standing, is that the final shift by the universe will be made, and no one will be allowed at that point to begin to tinker with the timeline anymore. Still Aralamb speaking. Because as you know it now, humanity is meant to make this ascension, right? And most of you who are listening to this are going to see much of the second half of the ascension. And so it's going to be important for you to keep sort of a cool head and keep your soul very stable. Right? Take care of yourself physically. Do all of these things. Release what you need to release so that you can move through this ascension in the most graceful way possible. Still Aralamb speaking. The final piece that I would like to talk about for 2026 is that moving into the final second half of the ascension is going to spontaneously begin to open up every one of your gifts spiritually. Now, hear me when I say this. This is concretely information that is true. Every single soul on planet Earth right now will have a spiritual specialty that you've carried with you for lifetime after lifetime. You will also have spiritual gifts that you've chosen that fall under that specialty. Melissa and I speak to people about these things every day. The reason I bring this up to you is because now that you as a whole, the whole of humanity is passing over this midway point of the ascension, still Aralamb speaking, this midway point of the ascension and the sort of acceleration that's going to happen, it's going to begin to open up all of your gifts in a way that will be graceful. but that will open up your gifts. And you may start to notice these things. You'll start to notice some of your spiritual gifts. You'll start to understand more about spirituality, about your own soul. This is just a natural sort of offshoot from the ascension. Because as you continue in the next half of the ascension, it's imperative that your soul wake up, that you begin to wake up and understand who you truly are. So, with all of that being said for the year 2026, which you as humanity are coming into, I don't want you to be fearful of any of these changes. What I want you to do is begin to look at your own life, look into your own heart, your own soul, look into your family structures, and start to try to release anything that's heavy that you carry. Release the heaviness, because as you move into the ascension, it's going to become harder and harder for your body. And I've talked about this before, but particularly for 2026, it's going to be harder and harder for your body to carry the old energy, right? You've got to connect with any of the love that you can find for anyone in your life, even those who have wronged you, because you've got to release that old energy. So I finish with you by saying this. Look forward to the next half of the ascension. Look forward to the next 20, 25 years on planet Earth, because this is where everything begins to change in the year 2026. I also want to go right back around to the disclosure question, which I started with here. The disclosure is something that is going to be quietly and continually fed to you. However, I want you to understand as well that now, 8 Earth years from now, it's likely that off-world species will be here. So rather than stay in a skeptical, sort of ignorance is bliss kind of mindset about this, start to really understand that human beings are in a universe, in a complex universe teeming with life. And the sooner you bring that into your knowledge base as not something that's a maybe, but something that is, that's another thing that will make you much more comfortable through this ascension. So please take care of each other, take care of yourselves. Do not move forward in fear. Do not move forward in fear. Thank you so much. Okay, me speaking. Whoa, that was a lot. So the disclosure thing, he's saying September through October, it's likely that we're going to see our president in the United States, but also two other world leaders sort of come up to the podium and have that moment where they say, okay, yes, we know there's intelligence out there. We know that. And he's saying they're going to soft pedal it. So they'll be, we know this is true. Like maybe Donald Trump will stand up and say, here's what I do know. I know that there are other species in the universe and they're intelligent, but that's all I know. Like they'll probably do it in that way. And also the other thing that I want to kind of double down on here is when he was talking about the timelines, right? This shifting of timelines. And if for any of you who want to, you can go search out online the Looking Glass Project. You can find that. And the Looking Glass Project is literally these groups of people, scientists, people, Black projects, who keep trying to shift our timeline away from the highest good, purest timeline that creation wants us to be on, right? Creation wants us to all survive through this ascension and sort of come through it. Yes, surprised and wow, there's a lot going on, but not crazy Armageddon stuff, right? And yet there's a group of people on the planet, entities or people, as Aralamb calls them, who are trying to shift us into this timeline that is not as good for humanity, right? It's a power timeline, but it's not as good for the rest of us. So what Aralamb is saying is if you have a day, and I do this once in a while, if you have a day where you feel very dislocated, almost like you feel like somehow you were dislocated from everything that you know to be real, just wait for 24 hours. Don't take that on yourself as your problem. Just wait, because chances are the whole thing will shift back. The other beautiful thing is that he said that the universe slash God slash the creator, however you want to say that, at the end of 2026 is going to sort of put the lockdown on any of that happening. So we're almost at the end of that process as well. But it does sound like 2026 is going to be a year that all of the, and I know many of you, because I talk to so many people every day, many of you feel this very intense feeling of sort of almost as if you're being pushed by the one side and accelerated into this movement. Everything seems to be going faster and faster and faster and faster, and to the point where you almost think, I can't keep up with everything that's changing and everything that's happening. I can't keep up with it. And that is that ascension. So that's that sort of ascension moving forward. We're getting ready to shift into a bit of a higher gear. But as Aralamb said, this isn't about being afraid. It's not about being afraid of your neighbors. It's not about being afraid one group from another. It's really about humanity starting to understand that as humans on Earth, and I'm saying this now because it's kind of the holiday season, but Aralamb just said, go ahead to me. As humans on Earth, we are one group. We are a species. We are singular, right? There are other humanoid style species out there in the universe, out there in the Milky Way galaxy, but we are on Earth. We are Earthlings, right? So all of the small things that we beat each other up about, that we go on and on and on about, all of the things that separate us, they're not real. They're not real. None of those things are real. So I guess I would say this to you. It's almost part, depending on who you are, pieces and parts of the holiday season. I'm a Merry Christmas gal, but others are different things. I get that. I respect that. But the New Year is coming, right? The New Year's coming. And so here we sit, and we are on the precipice of such an amazing time. And it sounds to me, from what Aralim is saying, 2026 is going to be absolutely jam-packed with information coming out. And as he said, what we need to do is calmly stand together, hold each other up, love each other as much as we can, even try to love those people that you really don't want to have dinner with, right? You don't have to have dinner with them, but you can hope the best for them, and you cannot live in fear. So enjoy the new year, enjoy your holiday, and I send you love from here in the big forest. Whoop, there's my button. From here in the big forest where I am. Thanks so much.